This is the Power Platform Daily Brief from CRM Audio for Friday, April 19th, 2019. What you need to know about the Power Platform today in 10 minutes or less. I'm Brad Kuntz. So first up, Microsoft's Business Application Summit is in Atlanta, June 10th through 11th of this year. The full session catalog was announced this week. So just at a very high level looking through it, it looks like, once again, it's going to be a lot of great content. This is, for me, has been one of my favorite and most productive conferences to go to because of all of the insight that you get from the product teams at Microsoft. So you can really dig in, understand what's coming from roadmaps and this ever-expanding platform that we work with day in and day out. It's good to have this kind of depth in this period of time. So looking through the catalog, we've got 69 sessions focused on Dynamics 365, 53 on Power BI, 45 on Power Apps and Flow. So there's no shortage of content. Trying to get that much content into 2 days is going to be a bit of a whirlwind for folks that are going. So the registration is up. If you're an alumni, there's an alumni code that you can use that you may have gotten an email about if you've been to this conference before, and you can check that out. They also announced the keynote. It's going to be Alexis Ohanian, and he is one of the co-founders of Reddit and the man that Forbes once called the mayor of the internet. So check that out.
For today's power conversation, we've got Scott Sewell with us. Scott is with Microsoft. Scott and I have known each other for a long time and worked together in different places. But welcome, Scott. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks. It's a pleasure to be a part of this. I got to tell you, I really enjoyed these daily briefings. There's so much news typically that it's nice to be able to catch bite-sized pieces of it every day.
Well, good. Thanks for joining us today. It's been a little bit of a slow news week, so hopefully we can add a little spice to the podcast for this week. So the way this works, this is the Friday Power Chat, and we'll ask 7 questions, and then we'll play a little game we call Buy and Sell. Does that sound good?
Sounds good. Is this like Stump the Chump?
It is like Stump the Chump, exactly, which you're good at. So
okay,
this shouldn't be too hard.
We'll see.
A little easy one at first. The spring release announcements from 2 weeks ago. There was a lot of material there. There are a lot of great new features across the different platforms that we work with every day. What was your favorite, and what do you think is going to be the most impactful for this community?
Yeah, I don't know if it's the most how big of an impact it is, but one of my favorite areas is, of course, in my focus on the service management piece, the omni-channel engagement hub. There's a couple of things about that tool. I mean, it's not for everybody, but it's a couple of things about it allow you to bring in things from conversations you're having through chat or through telephony or other things through a web-only platform, much like you had in that unified client desktop in the past. But this is a web-only, and there's also some really cool tabbing inside the app, inside the window, that I wish we had in the regular part of Dynamics. And I hope that hopefully in that they'll see some parts of that will eventually migrate out to the rest of Dynamics. Just because it's got a nice way of organizing when you're working with multiple records at the same time, being able to capture all that without just having multiple tabs on your browser open. So cool stuff there. I will have to throw in another Power Platform area that I'm excited about, which was the key influencers visualization that was added to Power BI. I can't tell you how excited I am about that tool. And I've been able to show it to a few customers recently, and every time the response has been overwhelmingly positive because it helps us show the value of the data we have inside of Dynamics. You and I have been working on Dynamics data for a long, long time together, and we've always known that the real strength of Dynamics is the data we capture through these transactional work every day. But oftentimes it's difficult to get really good visualizations and really good insights into that data. This key influencer, I can't recommend it highly enough in terms of how it like lights up that data and gives you ability to run some really cool math in the background, which I'm not a math guy, but it's running all these linear regressions behind the scenes in real time. It's cool. I love it. So I'll throw that in as my second pick, if that's all right.
That has been a very popular part of the announcement from then. And it's funny because I think back just a couple of months ago, and I think you and I were having a conversation about how to solve the same problem, and we went through a couple of workarounds and some, I would say, laboriously built visualizations that we did to kind of solve the same problem. But this new solution seems to take out a lot of that back end work that was a little bit manual for what we were trying to do. So I'm excited about that as well.
Super strong. Yeah. I'd tell you, I definitely look at the key influencers visualization in Power BI, and you do have to enable it in the preview features still, even in the April release, but it's super powerful.
Great. And we'll put a link to that into the show notes for sure. Next question, Scott. What is your favorite XRM toolbox tool?
That's like Sophie's choice, man. I have to choose between my favorites. I would say probably, I looked recently and Fetch XML Builder is my number one used one, but between that and the Web Resource Builder, the Web Resource Manager, those are the two that I can't live without. I love the Power BI Query Builder, but I wouldn't be able to live without the Fetch XML Builder or the Web Resource tool.
So you travel a lot, I know. So tell me about your favorite travel tech. What is the piece of technology or app that you can't live without when you're on the road?
Well, when I'm on the road, usually I'm out for a presentation, and I got to give the Spotlight presenter tool from Logitech is the coolest handheld mouse that I found. Love that thing. I don't know if you've used it before, but it's great because it allows you to put it in and use it like a mouse, but it's like a little magic wand that you can point to areas on the screen. But it also has a highlighting, like almost like a spotlight feature where it dims all the screen except for the one circle where you're trying to direct your audience's attention to. It's super strong. I can't recommend it highly enough.
Yeah, I've used that one in the past, and what I found is that it is so cool that you almost have to kind of introduce it while you're setting up and while people are kind of getting settled, because if you bring it out at a truly dramatic moment and bam, there it is, they might get a little too distracted by the cool tech and forget what it is you're trying to say.
You're probably right.
So Scott, if I'm in New York for one night, what place should I go see?
Man, I would go see right now. Bryan Cranston is starring in a play called Network. It was based on a movie from years back, and he's kind of a curmudgeon-y old news anchor. It is intense.
And what's his line in that? It's I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore.
I'm not taking it anymore, right?
Yeah, that's
great.
He
fires up the audience that way. I mean, it's intense. I mean, I was sitting on the edge of my seat in a lot of it, and no spoilers, but it's one of the most interesting plays I've ever seen.
So I've got a deep question for you. Tell me about your relationship with data.
I told somebody the other day that data is my love language. It's funny because that's what if we can spend a lot of time on CRM front ends and the forms and Power Apps and everything, but at the end of the day, it's all about producing, managing, and then trying to interpret data from my perspective. And you can have the coolest widgets anywhere, but if it's not capturing and correctly processing or delivering usable intelligence, it's just shiny stuff. So I'm a big data guy. Not big data like in big data, but I really like data, and I love the fact that so many of the tools that we get these days are allowing us to expose and expose the strength of the data we have captured. Yeah, I just did a presentation to a huge financial services organization in town, and I was showing Dynamics. I got to the end of the presentation. I got to some of my Power BI dashboards, and it absolutely blew the roof off the room, because ultimately lots of people are clicking on things and want to know how many clicks it takes to get to the center of an opportunity. But at the end of the day, it's the people who fund projects. They're interested in answers. And I think the Dynamics platform, Power Platform, it's all about answers. If you want to appeal to the people who are investing in these projects.
Right. So since data is all about answers, answer me this, Scott, and I'll give you a little bit of data points first. I do not know how to play a musical instrument. I'm 47 years old. I've never been in the first class cabin of a boat. What are my chances of surviving the Titanic?
Well, since neither of us are youthful females, we're not in good shape. Now, if either of us signed up to become a deck crew member, we would be in good shape. And the funny thing is, most people here who are hearing this will have no idea what I'm talking about.
Well, do you have a link that we could put in the show notes? People could dig into
let me look and see. I think I've got a demo of the Titanic that's available, a little recording of it, but it really shows the strength of the tool. But I'll be happy to send that over to you.
Sounds great. Thanks, Scott. So real quick, we're going to do a quick buy or sell.
Okay.
And I'll give you a layup first. Power BI in Dynamics 365.
Oh, that's a strong buy.
Strong buy. And then
buy with a bullet. Yeah.
Buy with a bullet. HoloLens 2.
I don't know. Not my thing.
And finally, the new Chromium Edge browser.
Using it right now to buy.
Fantastic. Well, Scott Sewell, thank you so much for your time today, and have a great holiday weekend.
You as well, man. Thanks. I've enjoyed this, and we'll catch up again soon.
Talk to you soon. Thanks, Scott.
Sure. Bye.
That's it for the Power Platform Daily Brief today. Power on.